Clement Masombo, KTN.
Now, meanwhile, principals in the united opposition now say they will hold President William Ruto to account in case of any deaths caused by the dreaded Ebola virus. This is coming after President William Ruto admitted allowing the setting up of an Ebola quarantine and treatment facility in Kenya to be used by US citizens who have contracted or exposed to the virus. Although no reports have so far been confirmed of Ebola cases in the country, the opposition leaders now want all Kenyans to oppose plans by the government. Chris Thairu reports.
At the center of controversy is the planned 50-bed Ebola quarantine unit at Laikipia Air Base for US citizens exposed to the Ebola strain in DRC. President William Ruto confirmed yesterday that he okayed the setting up of the Ebola facility in Kenya after President Donald Trump personally requested Kenyan support. But principals in the united opposition held a meeting to seek ways on how to counter the government's plan. After the meeting, the opposition leaders are now demanding that the president takes a full responsibility in case the dreaded disease enters Kenya and claims the life of anyone within the borders of the country. Further, they argue that Kenya is not a dumping ground and it lacks capacity to handle such an outbreak. The US should respect Kenya's court order and stop the construction of the facility. Similar sentiments were made by legislators affiliated to the Democracy of Citizens Party DCP, led by the party's Secretary General Nyandarua Senator John Metho.
Do you anymore care about openness, accountability, and gaining of public trust from the people of Kenya? If the United States of America, with a working healthcare system as compared to our poor healthcare infrastructure, has categorically stopped its own citizens exposed to the Ebola disease from setting their foot in America, why are you exposing Kenyans?
The opposition leaders argue that Kenya lacks the capacity to handle an outbreak such as Ebola.
Why Nanyuki? In terms of natural resources, are you willing to make material public disclosure of the mineral deposits that are seemingly attracting international interests? Are you aware that the US Safe House Foreign Affairs Committee has urged the USA government to take Americans home for treatment and not dump them in foreign countries?
The People's Renaissance Movement Party, which is part of the opposition, has also petitioned the US government demanding clarity on grounds that there was no public participation nor risk assessment conducted.
So we are calling the citizens to hold their members of parliament accountable, to either move an impeachment motion on the president for lack of regard of the sovereignty of the people of this nation, or then for them to step down if they have not been able to defend the people of this country.
What are the scientific and public health justification for locating such a facility in Kenya when we know there are countries and regions already equipped and actively managing Ebola-related cases?
The opposition leaders are also planning a meeting with the American Charge d'Affaires to demand transparency and full disclosure why Kenya and not DRC, where the outbreak is. Meanwhile, the opposition leaders have resolved to field one candidate in the coming All-Kalau parliamentary by-election where DCP, Jubilee and PLP have candidates to face the UDA candidate. They have also asked Kenyans to reject the coming Finance Bill 2026. Chris Thairu, KTN, Nairobi.